Hello and welcome back to another one of these character spotlights. We've got another character that's been released, and this time I'm getting to it a little bit earlier than 3 weeks after. This was just released like a week ago. Chucho, or however you say it, was released, and he's part of the Overdrive. I believe that's the name of it. I always get that mixed up. But Chucho is a very interestingly designed character. And let's just get right into it. As usual, I've prepared some notes and some clips to show you guys, just so that this keeps a little bit interesting and you can see exactly what I'm saying. Yes. So, Chucho, in terms of character, is a weird combination of Greedo and from Star Wars and Mr. Wong from Futurama.
And the art of hunting bounties.
He kind of looks a little bit like Greedo, but I know that's racist towards aliens. What? Okay, we'll get to this later. But he just has sort of a lisp. He's supposed to be a bounty hunter, but he has a lisp. So that's sort of his odd, quirky bit to him. But he is a really interesting character. I'm glad he exists. He incorporates a lot of things that I've been really wanting to see into Awesome Mods. First of all, this is a vehicle. His second ability is basically all around this turret thing, but we'll get to that in a second. So his main AA is this short little burst of two things. It's very similar to Lone Star's attack. His first ability is called Sticky Bomb. Now it's this bomb that you sort of throw and it lands somewhere, and it takes 4 seconds, I believe, for it to explode, maybe 3. And that's sort of his main damage dealing to non-buildings. It does not actually land or do any damage to buildings. It does, however, stick to basically everything. Wherever it hits, it will explode. It will stick to. So if it sticks to a knot, it will actually stick to them and stay on them until they die. If something dies while it has it on it, it will drop, and I don't believe it sticks to anything else. It will stick to droids, it will stick to totems, it will stick to pretty much probably everything. It does not get destroyed by the worm, I believe so. I only slightly tested it. Okay, so his second ability is all about his bike. So if we go into here, you can see he has a hyper bike. What this does is it lets you sort of move similar to Yuri. This guy is kind of a combination of Yuri, Durple, and Nog. Yuri, in that he has this sort of fly mode where you can just sort of fly around, very similar to Yuri. He does not get the advantage of sort of dropping like Yuri. Yuri has great mobility in terms of that you can turn off your jetpack and it sort of drop like a stone. For him, he kind of just he's stuck with the speed of going down like this. While in your bike mode, you get this nitro boost. It makes you go really fast. This makes him one of the fastest characters in the game, if not the fastest. It's nice. I really appreciate that now we have a more fast character than Raylan. It kind of didn't make sense contextually why Raylan was the fastest character in the game. She just happened to have the big boots. A note to point out, I'm on low graphics because there's a really bad bug in this game or a memory error, and I might even stop midway through to start a new match because this game, the FPS drops quite quickly in this patch, and hopefully it's just part of the beta and will actually go away. But yeah, so this speed boost makes him pretty much the fastest character in the game. Like, this is without boots. He can get to and from the center to get to the center quite quickly, pretty much the fastest of any other character. But so when he dismounts from his bike, it leaves behind this turret. This turret doesn't actually have any collision, I believe, but it can still be used as like an area denial. That's where he's sort of similar to Nog, in that he leaves down the turret and it shoots at things. Like, we'll go and I'll show you that. You leave it and it shoots at things. Bad example. But where he shines is that he has a lot of raw damage. Come here, as you can see, we have a droid wave. We're just sort of ripping away. And there, it's stuck to the guy, and boom, explodes. We can sort of save it. Oh, but it got destroyed. So there are 2 ways for the thing to get destroyed. As you can see, cooldown when destroyed, 12 seconds. So it's actually pretty advantageous for you to manually destroy it if you know it's going to destroy it. What you can do, and now we have it. But see, it's sitting there. If we manually destroy it by holding down the center, it comes back a lot faster. There is an upgrade where you can actually destroy it and it leaves like an explosion. I didn't actually test it because I didn't think it would be that terribly great, but sort of really do a lot of damage. Turret, like, very good turret pusher. But he is, without his bike, he is not awful. He only has a single jump, so he's very limited in terms of that. You can't really get incredibly mobile with that. There's a bit of a mechanic that, even though you can't fly down like this, see how slow it is, it might be advantageous for you to just intentionally drop yourself. See how quickly that dropped me, and I can sort of get back up and get back onto it. It's really good for juking and for just getting down quickly. Like, say, okay, that guy only has one hit left, so I'm gonna zoom and drop down here and bang, do that, and might be dead. Boop. So, oh my gosh, you're going a little ham with that. And so it was very advantageous, and I exploded it so it didn't get destroyed, and it's a faster cooldown. So there's a lot of mechanics that we need to sort of learn with this character. Okay, is there anything else to do? Start reading off my notes. So combining the turret with the, because like, let's watch this here. Coming here, you can really tank a lot of damage. I've noticed that, like, you can just do that in late game. Oh, I don't think I've even shown that. This is the AA when you're on your bike. It's sort of like this completely straight shot of, get away from here, I don't like that. So as you can see, like, you can just use that speed boost to get away from pretty much everything. He's really going to be a slippery knot to deal with. He has sort of a weird throw mechanic when it comes to throwing his sticky bomb there. I thought initially that it would be like Lone Star, but it actually is kind of similar to Lone Star in that where it actually goes has a weird arc, but you can control the arc quite easily. And that, like, you can see how it's up and down, but it can be difficult to aim it properly if you're not used to it. With a skill shot, it takes some time to get used to. Let's see, anything else in my notes? Okay, dropping on the bike is useful, good strategy. Going back for your bike is actually pretty advantageous because it is your lifeblood. Like, even if it means going back into danger, it often is very advantageous to go back and get it because this speed boost is so good for getting out of danger. The clips that will probably be shown now. In the background here, I'm getting crap tons of damage. And so what you can do is then use an escape option, and boom, I'm out of here. Easy peasy. Get some dirt damage and get back there. So Nitro Boost, run back. Often better to run back. It is possible to teleport while on bike. It's very similar to Yuri in that regard. You just come up here, and so I've gotten away with some stuff in the bot matches I have done. Turret is very good area denial. Gunning people down while chasing them is very satisfying. With the speed boost, you can sort of chase low health enemies back to, like, their turret, like this guy. Let's see if we can chase him. Oh, I'm gonna do that. Okay, but like in better circumstances, our boost would be ready, and you can just already be there. But he's a very fun character. I love that he's in the game. Like, these overdrive characters are introducing some mechanics. I've always, like I said, I've always wanted summoners to be in the game. And this is sort of another step in that it's good that it's non-dot, like, Gnaw is just annoying, but this character I can see is just like a lot more fun than Gnaw. Dynamic-wise, just how he works. So you can sort of reset the health of your turret by just getting back onto it. So in some ways it's like infinite pushing health. You can sort of just keep jumping off and on, to sort of tank a little bit of damage. So a couple of characters have a little bit of trouble while shooting things that are right in front of them. This is kind of obvious with things like Scodier's punches, is that sometimes when you're right next to things, it doesn't actually get punched by them. So like right now, I'm already dipping down to like 30 and I'm on low. This should not happen, but like I said, there's kind of a memory issue. So the thing with the sticky bomb is that you have to do things, you have to throw them before the droids get to your set of droids. Because if you throw them at this point, the droids generally die faster than you can, like, then you can deal with them. So it's best to shoot it as they're approaching, and to not sort of do it as like, because of the timer on it, it takes a while for it to actually activate. And so like here, that might have been like advantageous, but like you can usually kill them faster. I don't have any upgrades, so I haven't really done anything to advance my speed or my attack damage. But let's see here. Let's see, there's a bad memory leak. Bike can be destroyed. Okay. So the I don't think there's anything else we can show sort of in that. So I might actually just go to a new match just so we can get the FPS back. Okay, I apologize for my voice being a little bit quiet. The other thing, I've been having audio issues with the beta. Like I've turned it down lower than I do for my settings for Race to Prestige, and yet it's still really, really high and loud. I don't understand why it's quite so loud. But I apologize for the first bit being a little bit harder to hear. I really don't feel like recording it again right now. I've done that twice for these things. So, but a couple things that I have tested before that I didn't tell you about in the last clip. Boosting while in a trap does nothing. So if you're in a Derple trap and you boost away, does nothing, as it should. Getting out of onto a bike doesn't break the invis when you're on a Gillian, but getting off does, because it's leaving something that can shoot and it's kind of doing damage to things. So that makes sense. It does not have a collision when you're on a turret, but again, it does act like an area denial. It's kind of like Gnaws Weedlings. Gnaws Weedlings do not actually have a collision box, so it's good that that's consistent. And the bike can get destroyed by the worm, which, I mean, that makes sense. And the grenade cannot, in the same clip, you'll see. Okay, so let's get to his items. So the first thing we'll do this just so you can read them. The sticky bombs are all about kind of the damage. This is just raw damage against enemy awesome knots. I can see how that's decent. Causes the enemy to be slowed down. I can see that getting used a lot as well. Increases explosion size, probably decent as well. This one I think is going to be the really, really picked one. This one adds a dot AoE effect to within the bomb's outline, so it adds a ton of damage to like the area. It makes the thing do damage earlier, and it increases a lot of damage. I think it's even more effective than that in terms of getting damage, and it's AoE. AoE is always good, and it's also a different timing than at the end. So if you miss the end bit, like if you miss your thing, then it's not really useful because they're going to run out of it anyway. But if you have this, you get sort of a couple of ticks of damage before they get out of the range. This thing makes the sticky bomb remain sticky when on the ground. So basically if you miss, it can still get picked up when they walk over it. So I can see that being picked up as sort of assistance to landing the sticky bombs. And then finally makes this drop smaller bombs, which actually do a decent amount of damage, but it's really hard to make those land on the people. Okay, so the upgrades for him. For the bike, damage on bike shot. I think this will be quite taken a lot because it's really good. It's just increased damage, like I said. His raw damage on turrets just rip through things quite quickly. This one, I thought it would be like it gives you a shield, but no, you give it a shield, which is kind of meh. I don't like that. It's kind of dumb that it works out like that. This adds a nitro burst to like in the back of it, so it's kind of a running away and it gives damage, kind of similar to Nib's Flame. It's okay. This is the upgrade I really haven't tried. We can go mess around with that later after I go over all the items. But it's kind of like Sentry's thing in that you can teleport to things and it explodes. I got major Sentry vibes from that upgrade anyway. Reduces the cooldown when destroyed, so this lets you get it back quite quicker. So if you're gonna go for those kind of do synergize a little bit well. There isn't a lot of synergy in this character. Well, yes, he does have a bit of raw power. It really doesn't combine well with anything. It is a little bit underwhelming. I was talking with Red, and that was his description of the character, is that there's only so much you can do with this character. Like, yes, he has a fair bit of damage, but he doesn't really have combos. He doesn't have a lot of, like, unique things to do. He can get out of things. He can escape. He's got a lot of that prevention of death and dealing a little bit of death, but he really doesn't have, like, a broken mechanic. And that's something I've talked about before. With a character, you kind of need something to be broken about it. Like, that's the thing you look for, is like, you need to find something, some sort of combination of items, and maybe it's just because of my inexperience with a character, not being able to find it, but you need to find something broken about a character, and I haven't, and it's kind of hard to see them with these upgrades, of just something being so broken that it's good. So these AA upgrades, it's like wanted posters. This first one, the Koi Robbers, it's obviously Vinny and Spike. This one, the Matte Parasite Roid, I couldn't really think of that. Okay, so yeah, this is piercing. It actually is pretty good. It lets you destroy waves a lot faster. Maybe not worth, I think it should be 90 to be like just straight piercing, and be 90. I think that would be fine, but that's just me personally. This, I couldn't figure out who it was. Just your basic damage upgrade. It's okay. This one, Leon, obviously one-armed chameleon. This is like Mutant Ninja Worms and all the other upgrades that we have, so I think even Clunk has one now. The range is a pretty good upgrade, I found, because his range is actually kind of limited in that it only goes so far, and picking up that range upgrade really actually helps you deal with things. That it just gives you a little bit more range to work with. But I couldn't figure out who he was based on the description. Maybe an allusion to another character, like the two other ones that are coming. I feel like those will be involved, because this is Babel Zork, the actual mastermind behind the whole Awesome Knots battle and everything that's going on. He hired the bounty hunters for both sides, so he's kind of playing both sides. Awesome Knots has lore, yes. Surprisingly, Awesome Knots does have lore. And then finally, the Time Slipper. This is also another upgrade that I feel will be used a lot. It decreases the cooldown by a little bit for every time you hit things, so it just lets you spam things out a little bit easier. And the Time Slipper is actually a reference to Yulip. That is his boots. Also worth noting, now we got the items out of the way, the biggest thing about this patch is they're majorly changing one thing, which has a potential. I really hope you can't hear that heater there. But that really is going to drastically change the game. Let's see how that explodes. Okay, I really don't think that's going to be worth it, but we'll see how people work with it. Because like now I don't have my thing, but anyway. Boots, like this is just sort of a side note, boots no longer will be giving you jump boost. They will exclusively deal with, we're gonna get them. They're dead. They will only give speed boost, which is nice. It's kind of making boots a lot less mandatory, which is always good. Making things that you don't have a lot of mandatory upgrades is great. Because for me, I always get like boots for things like Coco and things like that. Let's see, can you actually... Oh, no, come on, I want to... Okay, it doesn't go through the ceiling. I wanted to test that out right there. You guys see science in action. But like for me, the reason I got boots on Coco was that the jump height difference is so different. Like when you don't have boots with Coco, you can't make that jump. You have to go whoop, whoop, and you can't make this jump either. And so it really makes getting around the map a lot of a hassle. I might actually not even get boots anymore, because if that change actually goes into effect, because it's not necessary anymore. Like the jump height is big. Like this is a huge change to this game. So that's an interesting little tidbit there. Just figured I'd let you guys in on that, since it's a change that's coming in this beta. It's listed in the beta notes. But there are a lot of changes coming, so I mean, I'm a little bit worried for the game. One note that people have made, like on the forums and stuff, is a lot of people don't use the turret, this AA mode right here, and that's because it's a little difficult to hit things. It kind of limits you in that you can't move left. Like, see, I'm going up, and that you can go up, down, and go forward, very much like Coco's attack. But it's difficult to hit things, because as you can see, like, you're sort of like, am I hitting that or not? Am I hitting that or not? And it's, I think, a way to sort of solve that, like they gave it the tiniest of increased damage. It used to be 55, now it's 58 base damage. It's like, wow, now I'll definitely use that. Whee! You can really, like, as you can see, you can like use that to get away with. Where'd he go? get away from easily predicted things. I don't think I've showed that, but I'll probably put in the clips earlier anyway. Man, where was I going with that? But just adding a little bit of a range, like a 15 to 20 degree of movement for that shot, would make things a little bit easier to aim and use. And I feel like that's definitely something that they're like, ooh, it's gonna kill him. Boop. That's definitely satisfying. Getting those sort of attachment kills and even kills from the grave will be pretty awesome with this character. But I'm pretty hopeful. This character, like, it does seem a little bit powerful in just terms of damage, but I feel like actually playing against real players would be able to shut him down a little bit better and not be stupidly a lot of damage. Because, like, you're playing with bots, they're gonna let you do stuff that you're not gonna be able to do with real players because, you know. But, okay, so the game is starting to lag out a bit from the. But now, even though he's gone, I can boost ahead, and suddenly I can shoot at him again and maybe get him. Okay, well, we're gonna die because we screwed up. But anyway, that is gonna be it for this video. This is Chucho, the new knot, and I hope you guys have enjoyed, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.